we're going to race. Right, so it's the next day and I need to get Cody's engine stripped. So let's get it on the bench that I have set up here and let's get it done. First need to take the timing casing off and then get the head off. So if it don't fit, don't force it. By the way, I've had a can of Monster today. So one Monster, like 2 Monsters in 8 days. Engine's on the bench and I've just tried to take the clutch plate off. And I've got some of the bolts undone, but 2 of them are completely over tightened and now they're causing me issues. But we can see the crank wibbling about, so let's forge ahead. I'm going to try and get that frigging clutch off, but it looks like I'm going to have to use an angle grinder. Right, so I've had to cut these bolts off because yet again, whoever fitted the clutch had rounded the heads off. And they're not even tight in there, but I couldn't get them out because they just rounded them off. But we've got them out now because we cut the heads off. But as we can see, the plot thickens, Roy.
Yeah, I know.
Because this clutch is actually absolutely
done nothing.
Brand new. It's got a tiny bit of a heat line round, but it's been nowhere. So have they done something when fitting the new clutch to make the crank snap?
Fucking hard job to snap a crank.
It's hard to snap a crank. I don't understand it because there's not even that much. Like, if they've been doing burnouts and reverse flicks and smashing it up and down the lanes, this clutch will be wasted. But it's not. It's like brand new. It's almost like.
It's like brand new.
It's almost like it's brand new.
Almost brand new, yeah.
Which it is. It is. You know, there's not even dust on it or nothing. There's no heat. The writing's still there.
As it came out of the package.
I don't know. I'm not, because there's not even signs of heat on the crank or anything like that. It doesn't. I don't understand. I don't understand what's happening.
It's had a massive shock, hasn't it?
Yeah. So either someone's like, there's no way you could dump the clutch hard enough with enough force to snap that crank, surely.
No.
It doesn't make sense. But we will forge ahead and probably bring you no answers at all as to why this engine snapped the crank, apart from it did, and we're going to fix it. Right then, so I'll lift the flywheel off now, but I'm here and I'll just turn you off and bring you back. Oh, the camera's still running. So everything that's supposed to be tight is ridiculously loose. Like, it's just loose. So I don't know what the hell's going on, but I'll bring you back once I've got the timing cover off. All right then. Deviousness, just took the crank pulley off, and I know that this has had a cam belt done on it, but there is no shim plate between the pulley and the crank pulley and the crank. Now, when you do the belt replacements on these in the kit, you get a shim plate that you don't have. When it comes from the factory, it doesn't have the shim plate in, apparently, so I've read. But when you do, then you need it. So yeah, there you go. It didn't have that shim plate in, and you can see that there is weird marks on there. So I have a suspicion that the crank pulley may have spun on there as well as snapping the crank. So interesting. I've just pulled the 3 bolts that hold the high pressure fuel rail on, because this is like a direct injection common rail type petrol situation. So we pulled that off. So let's get the rocker cover off and the timing case and see what else is happening. It's got 2 camshaft position sensors, and then these things here are the actuators for the twin variable valve timing. So these work on these are actuators, and they push a push rod onto the VVT pulleys which is variable valve timing pulleys inside the timing case, and that is controlled from the signals from 2 cam position sensors. and the crank sensor. When your timing is out, what it'll read is, so if you've got a problem with these or a problem with your timing, it'll normally show up with a camshaft crankshaft correlation issue, which means that your timing is incorrect. So if you ever do a timing chain or a timing belt and then the light comes on and it says correlation, it means the position is not within the parameters set by the ECU.
That's at 7:30, isn't it?
Yeah?
That's at 7:30.
7:30.
Correlation Street.
Correlation Street, yeah. So if your correlation street's not out, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Right, so let's remove the timing cover.
Now we're getting down to the nitty gritty.
We're in it to win it now. Right, so right, so inside the timing cover, I showed you those two actuators there, and these are the little push rods. See them there? They move, and what they do is they act in the centre of these two pulleys, and if you can see that there, they're spring loaded. It's the same on a lot of things, like Vauxhalls are the same, and that actuator pushes on there, and through oil pressure, I believe, I'm not 100% sure, but most of them are oil pressure, it pushes on there, and then it allows oil into the pulley to, at high revs, that they can then retard or advance or whatever it wants to do to the cam pulleys for the variable valve timing. And we can see that these are still the genuine Ford ones because they're both labelled for Moco. So let's get the cam belt off, and then we can get the cylinder off, head off, and have a look inside. There is the wet belt, and although there wasn't loads of bits in the sump, it is starting to, sorry, get you in focus, crack up and break, and it's not very nice.
Rubber and oil don't mix.
Rubber and oil don't mix, no. There's the tensioner, which is very much just like a standard cam belt tensioner, although everything's just covered in oil, so it all goes to shit. So, right, let's take the cylinder head off. Cylinder head off, we can see that all the valves have impacted the pistons, and although they haven't smashed through, they've left big gouges. And hear that is the edge of it, so that would be prone to develop hot spots and be unhappy. You could dress it off and it may be alright, but it's had damage here. Something's been through that cylinder and all the valves have contacted. So I'm going to pull the crank out of it for shits and giggles, but with what I can see from this block, I am concerned about rebuilding this, so we might have to find something else. About to look, I've got the main bearing caps off and we're about to look the crank in the eye. So if you want to hold the camera and record me exhuming the crank, it is recording as we see. I've pulled the pistons out, which they have not, you know, they're not bad. The bearing surfaces are really good, but never mind, eh?
Here comes Jimmy Cranky. Oh, hey! Ooh.
That is a major failure right there.
Ooh.
And I'll be honest, with the force that's had to go through that crank to do that to it, there's no way I can
Is that on
trust
the
it.
clutch end?
Yeah.
Oh.
There's no way you can trust this block again. This block is for the bin, because the twist in it would have been unbelievable. But we can see there, like, them bearings are really good, all of them. It was a good engine.
Apart from crankshaft rod.
Apart from whoever worked on it last was an idiot. Like, even the thrust washers are in really good nick, you know. Oops.
He wants thrusting in the bin.
I think so, yeah. You know, there's very little wear everywhere, and that's good, but whoever had worked on it last was a total heathen, and that is unreal. So, from the shed, we need to find another block and engine either to rebuild or just put straight in. So if it don't fit, don't force it.
No, I won't.
That's
I'll
it.
put that up in wanker.
Oh look, here's our Cody now. Straight from work. Been doing the overtime.
How are we?
We're not so bad. Do you want to come and look at your engine?
I wouldn't mind.
This is the situation.
Oh.
So,
That's a big situation.
hello darkness, my old friend. My eco boost is completely fucked again. Right.
Shouldn't laugh.
Shouldn't laugh, but we're going to.
Yeah. Bring the spirits up a little bit.
Anyway, this is actually the end of this episode now. So, from me, from Roy,
Bye bye.
and from Cody, if it don't fit,
Don't force it.
I won't.